This is Dan Wilkes with PittStateGorillas.com. Coming up on this week's edition of the Coach Russ Jewett podcast, we preview the 2012 MIAA Championships. The conference championships will be decided this Saturday at Maryville, Missouri. Can the Gorilla women make it 3 in a row? How will the Pitt State men stack up against the competition? All of that and more right after this short break.
The Holiday Inn Express of Pittsburgh has flexible meeting spaces, complimentary internet access, a free hot breakfast bar in the morning, and an indoor pool that the whole family will enjoy. Come book a room at the newest hotel in Pittsburgh, the Holiday Inn Express.
We're joined by cross-country coach Russ Jewett, whose Pitt State squads will travel north to Maryville, Missouri later today in advance of the 2012 MIAA Championships. Coach, it's hard to believe we've reached this point in the season already.
Yeah, time sure does fly. It seems like only yesterday we were finishing the last season, but it's here, and we're as ready as we can be for it.
Unlike many sports where teams build a cumulative one-loss record, your cross-country squads have pointed training from summer workouts to preseason practices and regular season meets towards this competition. Talk about that process and where your squads are as they prepare for the conference championships.
Well, we do, of course, race other competitions before the conference championship, but they don't really mean much in and of themselves. Everything that we do, training and racing, prior to the conference meet, really has everything to do with getting ready for the conference championship and the regional meet and the nationals hopefully thereafter. So it's all a building process, and while we may not, look really good in certain pre-MIAA meets, that really doesn't mean much because all that really counts is how you do on this one day. We're different from other sports in that regard.
The Pitt State men are looking to improve upon a fourth-place finish at the 2011 MIAA Championships held at Joplin, Missouri, but the Gorillas will seek to accomplish that with a significantly different cast of athletes than those that competed a year ago. Junior Ethan Solovsky stands as Pitt State's only returning top 7 runner from the 2011 race. It's safe to say injuries and adversities have been themes for this squad, Coach.
Unfortunately, that is true. We have gone through more adversity in terms of injuries and illness and other things, maybe than in my recent memory. But we're not going to dwell on those. We're going to dwell on what we can do, and this is a bunch of guys that will fight and scrap. Not much experience in this group, but we do have a lot of heart, and I think that these men are ready to go out there and have a performance that we'll be proud of.
You will send 7 athletes to the line Saturday. Redshirt freshman Devon Young has been the competition leader throughout the season, with junior Ethan Solovsky, redshirt freshman Austin Bogina, and freshman Connor Stark also battling in the squad's top 5. Talk about the makeup of the healthy runners you will send out Saturday.
Well, they are very competitive young men. What they lack in experience, hopefully we'll make up for in heart and grit. We do have some experience with Ethan Solovsky, and he's really having the best season of his career so far. So we'll look to him for stability, and of course we'll look to Devon Young for performance, leadership, and just race a team race and have a great showing for Gorillas.
Central Missouri will seek to defend its 2011 MIAA title on Saturday. Missouri Southern also figures to field a strong squad. How do you see the league race shaping up?
Well, I think Central Missouri is probably dealing with some injuries, much like we are. I see Missouri Southern as the favorite at this point in time. They've shown throughout the meets that we've had prior to the conference championship that they've got some front runners and they've got a good pack. And I think they've beat about everybody that they've come against, at least in our conference at this point in time. So they're really the odds-on favorite, I think. But then the likes of Southwest Baptist, Missouri Southern, Northwest Missouri, Fort Hays State has a pretty good crew. There's a lot of parity, I think. So while it's theirs really to lose, if they stumble a little bit, there's some other schools that can step up in there and get them. Unfortunately, realistically, we're probably not one of those, but it will be a hard-fought battle, I think, at the top again.
Tactically, what are the keys for this Pitt State squad to be successful on Saturday?
Well, I think as it's been throughout the year, we can do a good job of setting up our positions early, but when extreme fatigue starts to set in after 2 or 3 miles, we have to be awake mentally. We have to make sure we maintain contact or gain contact with the positions that we want. We've got to race the course and our opponents, and that's really tough to do for young kids when you're really in a lot of deep discomfort. But those are the things we need to do to be successful.
We'll continue our podcast with Coach Jewett after this.
Comfort Inn of Pittsburgh offers a cozy, welcoming room with free internet access. Enjoy the indoor pool area year-round and wake up to a complimentary breakfast every morning. When staying at the Comfort Inn, you can feel at ease knowing that your satisfaction is the most important thing to us.
Welcome back to PittStateGorillas.com. The Pitt State women enter Saturday's conference meet as the two-time defending MIAA champion. The Gorillas have shown flashes of promise throughout the early meets with this year's squad. How competition-ready are the Gorillas heading into the biggest meet of the year, Coach?
I think psychologically we're very ready, and I think physically we're extremely ready as well. We've been looking forward to this really ever since probably right when we showed up in late August. Our girls have worked really hard. And it's a very, very close-knit team, and they do feel a sense, these women feel a sense of responsibility to defend that title. And I think they'll go out there and race with that right on their heart.
Senior Kaylee Taymont has been the competition leader for the Gorillas. She did not compete in Pitt State's last meet at Rolla, Missouri on October 6th, but Kaylee has been a steady force for you, hasn't she, Coach?
Yes, she really has, and I'm extremely proud of her for her consistency and fulfilling the role of stepping up and being the performance leader when she really hadn't done that in previous years, hadn't been asked to do that, nor have we had to have her do that. But she's really shouldered that very well and exhibited great leadership. And without her, I think we wouldn't have much of a chance of success here.
Along with Taymont, sophomores Bridget McCormick and Alex Mose and freshman Hannah DeVries all have been steady performers. McCormick had a breakout meet at Rolla, finishing 8th overall while leading the Gorillas. What type of race do you need from some of your younger athletes like Bridget and Hannah and Alex to be successful in this meet?
Well, the strength of our team is our depth. So if one or two of our athletes don't have a great race, hopefully we'll have others step up. But what we need is to not be too conservative in the early and middle stages of the race, but to race forward and not try to protect our position, but try to attack other positions, because in order to beat the likes of Missouri Southern, we're going to have to put some folks up there in the top 10 and 15. We can't just rely on our pack mentality. We've got to have this pack charge forward.
Pitt State has raced this season without the services of three-time All-MIAA performer Melissa Peden and team captain Erica Testa. Both athletes have been battling back from injury, and I understand they both likely will be race-time decisions whether they go to the line for the Gorillas tomorrow.
Actually, that's true, Dan. Both have been training a little bit recently, and this injury thing is really frustrating. It's really a result of these kids want to work so hard and want to succeed so badly that hard work is necessary to do that, and you walk a tightrope sometimes, and we just kind of fell off that tightrope a little bit with a few athletes. But they are essentially healthy. It's just a matter of not in great race condition right now, but we'll decide, probably tomorrow morning whether or not we're going to race them.
Coach, the early meets have afforded you the opportunity to see almost all your MIAA competition. Missouri Southern has looked formidable once again. Several other squads seem to have the talent to compete at the top. How do you see this league championship race panning out?
Well, Missouri Southern, who has their challenges with injury, they're very good near the front. They've got 3 front runners if they're all healthy, and it's really if they're on their game, it'll be very hard to beat them. And we can compete with them at number 5, number 4, even number 3. So if they're really on their game, they're the team to beat, and I think we still can. We'll just have to have some very special performances. But there's a lot of parity too, as we saw at that last competition at Rolla. Southwest Baptist is very strong, as are Central Missouri. Central Missouri beat us at the Minnesota GRIAC Invitational. And they don't have quite the depth we have, but you don't have to have depth if all your runners really show up and compete well on a given day, and they're certainly capable of that. So got a lot of respect for those folks too. Northwest Missouri's fairly strong as well. So there's 4 teams probably, 4 or even 5 that would have a chance at winning this thing.
The MIAA championships are upon us. Thanks to head coach Russ Jewett for taking time to share his insights into the conference race. Tune in next week on Gorilla Access when we look back at the 2012 MIAA championships and look ahead to the NCAA Division II Central Regional.